The Atlanta Falcons finished 8-9 and missed the playoffs for the 8th straight year, and they might be the most dangerous team nobody outside Georgia respects. One more win last season, and Atlanta owns a winning record and a playoff berth for the first time since 2017, back when Matt Ryan took snaps here. The roster runs deep. The trouble sits at quarterback. And with no first-round pick this spring, Atlanta still walked away from the draft with a rookie defender who shares a last name with one of the best players on the team, and the plan for him reshapes the entire secondary. Start with the ball carrier. Bijan Robinson ran for 1,487 yards, added 820 through the air, and earned first-team All-Pro honors for the first time. Drake London signed his extension and anchors the passing game. Kyle Pitts is back after a career revival. Atlanta signed Tua Tagovailoa to push Michael Penix Jr., added Jahan Dotson and Olamide Zaccheaus to the receiver room, and brought back tight end Austin Hooper. The biggest move in Atlanta happened away from the field, and it reshapes every choice this staff makes. Now flip to the other side. Atlanta set a franchise record with 57 sacks and jumped from 31st in the league to 2nd, blitzing at the 2nd highest rate in football. A rookie edge rusher led all first-year players in sacks. The safety pairing of Jesse Bates and Xavier Watts ranks among the best anywhere, and A.J. Terrell locks down a corner. Atlanta plays in the one division nobody has locked down and owns a real path to the top of it. The tape backs it up. But before we get into that, hit that like and subscribe button for more Falcons and all the NFL content. Let's aim for 350 likes. On this video, the quarterback question defines Atlanta's ceiling, and the answer is not simple. Michael Penix Jr. went 8th overall in 2024, then tore his ACL in November. The recovery window runs 9 to 12 months, which lands him near the middle of camp. Penix impressed coaches in spring drills, moving well and looking comfortable in individual work, until a doctor clears him for full contact team sessions. The veteran holds the edge, and the veteran here carries a serious resume. Tua owns a 44-32 record across 6 seasons as a starter. Tua Tagovailoa signed a 1-year deal worth $1.3 million, a low-risk bet with real upside. 2 seasons ago, he led the NFL in completion percentage. The year before, he led the league in passing yards and made the Pro Bowl. Both quarterbacks throw left-handed, so the offense stays identical no matter who starts, and the line never flips its protection calls. Stefanski built his system around timed play action and rhythm throws, where accuracy matters more than raw arm strength. Tua fits the design cleanly, and the fit shows on tape. The counterpoint is real. Tua threw a career high 15 interceptions last year and carries a long concussion history. Penix owns the higher ceiling and the draft capital the team spent on him, and this becomes a put-up or shut-up season for the young passer. Whoever wins the job inherits an all-pro back, an extended number 1 receiver, and a tight end coming off a resurgence. The weapons sit ready. Turnovers decide which of these two holds the job into December. Both bring enough to keep this offense dangerous either way. For nearly a decade, the Falcons had no pass rush. In 2024, they finished 31st with 31 sacks, worst in the sport by a wide margin. Coming into the year, Atlanta had 30 fewer sacks than any team in the league, dating back to 2019. Then Jeff Ulbrich took over as defensive coordinator, unleashed an attacking front, and everything changed. Atlanta piled up 57 sacks in 2025, a single-season franchise record, breaking a mark from 1997 and the 2nd highest total in the NFL. A rookie drove it. James Pierce Jr. posted 10.5 sacks with 45 pressures, both rookie franchise records and the most sacks by any first-year player in the league since Micah Parsons. He even earned Defensive Rookie of the Month in December. Jalen Walker added 5.5 sacks and 9 quarterback hits in his own rookie year. Brandon Dorlus broke out with 8.5 sacks in year 2. Zach Harrison chipped in 4.5 in 7 games. The pressure came by committee, and young players supplied most of it. The group loses a few pieces, So Atlanta reloaded on the cheap with Samson Ebukam, Azeez Ojulari, Deshaun Hand, and linebacker Christian Harris from Houston. The team also swapped defensive tackles, sending Rook Orhorhoro to Jacksonville for Maason Smith. Caden Ellis left for New Orleans on a 3-year, $33 million deal after leading the defense in snaps. So Walker moves into a larger, all-around role. With Pierce and his season-opening availability uncertain, Walker sets the early tone. The loudest untold story sits with the offense. Here is the part national coverage skips. Atlanta owns one of the best offensive lines in football, and it now pairs with a head coach whose offenses finished top 6 in rushing again and again. Chris Lindstrom sits among the elite guards in the league and earns national ranking every year. Jake Matthews enters year 13 as an Iron Man at left tackle without missing a start. The interior of Matthew Bergeron and Ryan Newsel held up all season long, and the whole unit protected the passer at a high level. Then add Bill Callahan, the offensive line coach whose units have produced top 5 rushing attacks across 3 decades of work. Feed a wide zone scheme to Bijan Robinson, and the math gets scary. He piled up 2,298 scrimmage yards last season, the most in franchise history, on a career best 5.1 yards per carry. And Atlanta exercised his 5th-year option to keep him through 2027. The Falcons ranked top 10 in rushing on the strength of this front. Brian Robinson Jr. arrives to spell him and hold the tempo. One spot carries risk. Caleb McGarry retired without warning, so Atlanta signed Jawan Taylor on a 1-year deal to start at right tackle. He fights a false start habit and enters the fold rehabbing an arm issue. Callahan has fixed tougher cases before. The bigger picture holds. Protect a left-handed passer with this line, hand the ball to an all-pro back, and the offense hums against anyone. The trade last spring cost the 1st-round pick, and it might still pay off big. Atlanta drafted without a 1st-round pick, having spent last year to move up for a pass rusher, and still added starters. In round 2, at pick 48, the Falcons took Clemson cornerback Avion Terrell. His older brother is A.J. Terrell, the team's #1 corner and a former 1st-round pick. Terrell carried a 1st-round grade on some boards before sliding to Atlanta. The rookie profiles as an early starter with ball skills and a Clemson record 8 forced fumbles, joining a secondary featuring Bates, Watts, and a returning Billy Bowman, who comes back from an Achilles injury which cut his rookie year short. Round 3 brought Georgia receiver Zachariah Branch, a slot weapon with 4.35 speed and rare yards after the catch. He measures 5'9" and thrives on manufactured touches and open field speed. He slots behind Drake London and Jahan Dotson and hands the offense a return threat on top of it. Round 4 added Oklahoma linebacker Kendall Daniels, a 6'5" safety convert built for Ulbricht's hybrid looks. Both Phil needs the roster carried straight into the offseason. Day 3 leaned on defense and size. LSU linebacker Harold Perkins Jr. brings 4.45 speed and edge versatility if he recaptures his early college form after an ACL setback. Washington defensive tackle Antario Thompson attacks the run, the exact soft spot the defense needs to patch. Ohio State tackle Ethan Onianwa gives Callahan a big frame to develop for the future. The class is thin on volume and heavy on upside. The division around Atlanta gives this roster a real opening. The NFC South stayed wide open, and Atlanta knows it. The Carolina Panthers won the division last season and broke Tampa Bay's 4-year hold on the title. The New Orleans Saints found a starter in rookie passer Tyler Shuck and spent this spring like a team ready to climb the standings. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers reload once more with Baker Mayfield under center. No team in the group posts a runaway roster, and every game inside the division swings on a handful of plays. Atlanta matches up with all of them. Last season, the Falcons hammered the Bills by double digits on prime time and stunned the Rams on the road behind a huge Bijan Robinson night. They beat the Buccaneers in overtime and closed the year on a 4-game winning streak. The pass rush travels on the road. The run game grinds clock and shortens games. In a division decided by a few plays, a healthy Bijan Robinson, and even average quarterback play, swing the math toward Atlanta in a hurry. These are winnable games, and Atlanta already proved it hangs with the best. The margin stays thin, which cuts both ways. New Orleans looks hungry. Carolina defends a title. Tampa Bay owns the recent history and the veteran quarterback. Atlanta counters with the deepest front seven in the group and a top-tier secondary anchored by 2 all-pro level safeties. The path runs through health and quarterback stability above all else. The reason to believe traces back to a change most fans overlooked, one finally aligning this franchise from top to bottom. Here's the move nobody led with. Atlanta rebuilt its entire leadership structure this winter. Franchise legend Matt Ryan returned as president of football. 2-time coach of the year, Kevin Stefanski left the Browns to run the sideline on a 5-year deal. And Ian Cunningham, a front office executive out of Chicago, took over as general manager. He won titles in Baltimore and Philadelphia before helping the Bears to a division crown. For the first time in years, the people at the top share one clear vision. The play caller is Tommy Rees, brought over from Cleveland for his first NFL play calling job. The offensive line coach is Bill Callahan. The defense keeps Jeff Ulbrich for a second season of continuity, a rarity for a unit stuck on a coordinated carousel for years. Cunningham built through value, adding 16 players in free agency without a single deal topping $4.5 million per year. He locked up Drake London long-term and kept Kyle Pitts in the fold. So why call this a hard spot? Because the plan works only if the quarterback answer arrives on time. If Tua or Penix plays well, Atlanta faces a tackle rebuild and a contract decision next spring with both starters on short-term deals. Win now. Pressure meets a roster built for the long haul. The talent sits here today, ready to compete with anyone. The window opens now, and the roster looks ready to walk through it. The question is whether the season ends with a division banner or one more painful close miss. Put it together, and the 2026 Falcons look like a 9-10 win team with a real shot at the NFC South. The defense travels. The run game controls tempo. The offensive line protects a fit quarterback. The floor climbs higher than a year ago, and the ceiling reaches a home playoff game in January for the first time in nearly a decade of waiting. The pieces line up on both sides of the ball, and the schedule offers a soft division to climb. Here's the debatable claim. Atlanta wins the NFC South this year, takes the division from Carolina, and hosts a playoff game. These are not the same old Falcons who blow late leads and fold in December. This is a top 10 roster, paired with a top-tier coach and a franchise finally aligned from top to bottom. The one division nobody locked down belongs to Atlanta by season's end. Tell me where I am wrong. Down in the comments, I will read every one of them. If the quarterback play climbs even to league average, this team wins 10 games and ends an 8-year drought in one swing. Drop your win total prediction below and subscribe before the next breakdown lands on the channel. Every NFC South rival gets the same treatment next, starting with the team fresh off the division crown. The Panthers preview is loading now, and Atlanta's road to the top runs straight through Carolina. Smash the like button on your way out and hype this one for the algorithm.